So welcome back to another episode, and today, because I just kind of hit 100,000 subscribers, which is an incredible milestone, I thought I'd get nostalgic and look back on some of my top 10 favorite moments of the show of the last 7 years, and there's been so many, and it's really hard to pick, but these are some of the moments that stood out for me. At number 10, me and Rob were very, very happy to do this episode. It took us a long time to finally get to it in the show's history. It's a little older now, but it is Super Mario 64 Memories, and it just came together really right for us. The way we sat down and we told the story about when we first played the game, a lot of the stuff that was going on with us in our lives, how funny I was with Rob about it back then. But it felt like that memory that happened, we really got it across in the way that it really happened, and it felt very fulfilling. And even when we finished the episode, me and Rob gave a high five to each other because we were like, God, did we ever say that the right way? And we were so excited about always doing that episode, and we said it the way we always wanted to, and it's a very cherished episode of ours. At number 9, this one kind of makes sense after the Super Mario 64 Memories episode, where the craziest thing in the world happened. It will never happen again, I don't think so. Maybe it might in the future, but Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario for Nintendo, came over to my games room. And he hung out with us for the entire night. I couldn't get an interview because it was against Nintendo's policy. I hadn't checked with them, all that kinds of stuff. I'm not professional that way. But it was awesome to drink with Charles Martinet that night, and what an incredible guy, what an incredible moment that he was even over here to begin with. I still can't believe that happened. And number 8 was an episode I was really worried about making because I was like, am I getting the right message across to people? And I talk about all the moments in high school where I skipped school to go home and play video games. There was entire times when I skipped school for 2 weeks to go home and play Dragon Warrior 2. Man, oh man, and I was really worried about doing the episode. I was like, oh my god, it's so bad what I'm saying to people, but at the same time, that's what I did, and I really wanted to get that across too, and it's so funny, so many other people wrote to me and said, yeah, my god, the amount of times I skipped school to play video games, and it was fun to go back in that episode to some of the places that I had moments at where I skipped school, where I was walking with my friend Andrew, and I walked down to the track at high school, and I said, I'm taking 2 weeks off. Oh my god. And at number 7, it had to be a Christmas episode, and I'm gonna pick 2010's Christmas special. This was such an incredible episode in so many different ways. I mean, what I surprised Rob with was just awesome, and Pete Dorr gave me the heads up that it was on eBay, and I got it for fairly reasonable price at the time. I can't even remember what it was, but it was really not as expensive as it would be now. And I bought Rob the Mega Man Legends standee, and I blew him away with that, and he blew me away with the Garland from Megazone, this transformable bike into a robot. It was awesome, and that's a really cool Christmas special, and I've often said that I don't think I could ever top it, and nor do I think I'll ever try. It was just one of those cool moments of the show. At number 6, I've done a lot of reviews on the channel, a lot of episodes that I'm really proud of, I'm really happy about, but there was one review that I've done over the years that just like Mario 64, it just came out perfect. And you gotta understand, sometimes when I do the show, I don't have any notes or anything. I just go from my memories from my mind, and I talk about the experiences I had with a lot of games. My favorite was Shenmue. My review on Shenmue, I think it was called Shenmue Rocks. And I just remember sitting down in here, and I had nothing written or anything like that, and I just talked about my experience with Shenmue, and I did it all in one take, and it felt beautiful, perfect to me, because I was able to articulate my love of Shenmue. And I got it out, and it was one of those ones where I look back and I was like, and I really said it the way I always had it in my mind, and I was so happy about that it came out so right, because it's such a game that I love so much that I wanted to get it right, and I feel that I did for me personally. At number 5, this was a big point of the show, because I'd done a lot of reviews and look backs on games that I loved, and it was all about games that I loved, and there's a lot of things that I don't freaking love in life, and I got to do an episode on games I hate, and it was a big changing point for the show. It's like, yeah, I can talk about things I absolutely hate as well. And what was funny about it is that I talked about a few games that I hate. Dynamite Ducks, legendary game. Double Dungeons, another game that I hated. Lagoon, I freaking hated that. But what's funny is, no matter the way that I am, I detest those games. I hate them. But yet I was still nostalgic and able to talk about them in a really fun type of way. And I think that's kind of a staple of the show now most times. And I loved being able to show on the shelf that right behind here, because everybody always talks about the shelf. The shelf is falling. The shelf is falling. I got Double Dungeons back here holding it up as the pillar to hold up good games. And it's always been there. It's still there to this day. I can pull these games out. Oh, look, it's right there. At number 4 was Robman vs. Johnny. It was a review on the muscle figures that we grew up with as kids. There were these cool little Japanese toys that came over here, and we loved them. They had the wrestling ring and all of that. And it was an earlier episode of the show, I remember, for me and Rob, but we got dressed up as wrestlers, and we had this hilarious banter going back and forth. Man, I'm so nostalgic about that now when I look back about that episode. That's so funny that we did that. I'm glad we did that episode. At number 3, I've talked about it quite a few times. The movie is up online for free if anybody wants to see it. It was a movie that I did of the show years back now. I can't believe that so many years have gone by since then. And it was just a little movie that we had just done for fun. And the idea of it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I just got carried away, and it took us 3 years to make the damn thing. And we had no budget or anything like that. It was just a bunch of friends getting together, making a fun movie, and that to me is a real highlight of the show. It was one of those things I said to the audience I was going to make a movie, and I went out and I finished it. If it was good or not, doesn't matter, is that we finished it, and that was a huge accomplishment for the show, and we had a lot of fun making it. We really did, and it's one of those things that I'm very nostalgic about looking back on in the show's history, that we made a movie of the show. We did that, and we did it before anybody. It was just one of those things that we wanted to go and do this, so we did, and we accomplished it, and it feels good. I'm so happy that we did that. Now, number 2 is a multiverse kind of part. It is all the episodes that I was able to do with Kyle from Mega Steak Man on our Halloween specials, and these are just legendary. I mean, it's so funny that I wrote them out and I storyboarded them out, and Kyle came over and we shot them, and they came together so well, and I still owe Kyle 1,000 cases of beer for helping us out and for doing that. And I can't promise those every year because they're such elaborate productions, and honestly, to create some of those episodes would cost thousands of dollars, and I'm so happy that Kyle, would do it just to help us out and to be an awesome guy. And so definitely check out Mega Steak Man. He has helped us out so much in the Halloween specials, and they were so legendary. The Luigi's Mansion one, and the Johnny Millennium and Robman from the Future episode. And at number 1 is an episode that I didn't know if it would work out. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was an unknown thing. I went down to Portland and I got this print of Mega Man 2 by the original artist who signed it. It was a first print, art piece by Mark Erickson, a great 80s artist of some amazing box arts back then. And I was able to get this for Rob, and I had it signed to Rob, and I had Mark Erickson even drew a picture of Mega Man on the back of it. It was so personalized and such a cool item. And I came back from Portland and I didn't let Rob know that I'd done this. And I invited him over, and he came over, and he's having a day at work, and he didn't know why I was inviting him over. And a lot of people have said, he must have been in on it. And now let me tell you, for all the truthfulness of the entire show in 7 years, Rob did not know. Rob knew I had something planned, but he did not know. And it created one of the greatest reactions ever on the show. One of those real human moments that I couldn't have anticipated. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought Rob would be like, oh, this is wonderful, this is cool. But I got such an emotional reaction out of Rob. I hit something really deep. And it was really intense. And it was so cool that I got it in front of the camera. And it was a hell of a moment. It's one of those things you can only do once on the show. I don't think I could ever do that the same way again, nor do I think I would try to. But it was one of those, moments once in a lifetime of the show that would happen. And what a reaction from Rob. And then we went back to Portland years later, and Rob was able to thank Mark in person, and it really meant a lot to him as well. It was like such a good feeling episode. I'm so proud of it, but all I did was bring back a picture. Everything else that happened was human emotion, and that was I couldn't have foretold that to be happening, or it was about to happen. It was wonderful to see. So wow, so those are a few of my top 10 moments of the show. Obviously, you guys might have a few more. Say, hey, why didn't you mention this? Why didn't you mention that? These are just some that I went through all the episodes and I was looking at it. I was like, oh yeah, this was a moment, and this was a moment. There's a lot of other episodes and moments in the show that really mean a lot to me as well. So if I didn't mention anything, please put it in the comment section below. Let me know a moment of the show that you enjoyed. In fact, tell me of an episode that the first one that you watched, the first one that you came in and said, this guy's an idiot, I'm going to watch his show. So please tell me down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.